False reports about bedbugs infesting Europe.
Paris is crawling with bedbugs and the UK might be next.
False reports about abduction and organ harvesting orchestrated by America.
To remove organs of civilians and soldiers who were in critical and serious conditions.
And a false investigation into President Biden and a pedophile brotherhood. All bear the trademarks of Russian disinformation. And disinformation expert Darren Linvill is closely monitoring one Russian operation slyly named the FBI.
The FBI stands for the Foundation for Battling Injustice, and it's a front organization operating out of Russia that works to launder stories and launder narratives into Western conversations in France, Germany, and the United States, obviously.
Archived pages of the fake Russian site show its founder was Yevgeny Prigozhin, man of 1,000 disguises, head of Russia's shadowy Wagner mercenary group, and a leader of a mutiny against Russian authority, who died when the plane he was on exploded in midair. Prigozhin also founded an infamous troll farm that generated fake personas on social media in a mission to influence American elections. After his death, the U.S. thought his disinformation network was shut down. But Scripps News has learned his sprawling disinformation empire never stopped. Instead, Russian intelligence services have taken control, a State Department official tells us. Even worse, the Russians are using artificial intelligence to amplify their reach.
Mostly what this AI is doing is creating camouflage for these operations. It's taking real stories and rewriting them into just a different version of that real story that you didn't know came from Fox News or CNN or any of the pages that they might be stealing from.
How are you able to see that these sites are using AI?
It's through these specific errors that the AI makes. You'll find these mistakes. There'll be a note. It says, note, this AI has done X, Y, and Z. They've actually told the AI to be cynical regarding American politics, to undermine U.S. institutions, and to support Putin.
You can't make that up.
No, you really can't make it up. It's that absurd.
The Russians have also begun using AI-driven ChatGPT to generate fake reader comments on fake articles in Latin America, a U.S. official tells us. The goal to amplify content. And researcher Roman Asadchuk has been digging deep into yet another Russian use of AI.
What I'm seeing is that AI is actually narrating the messages, regular AI robo voice, that allowed Russians to avoid detection.
One example, the AI voice on this false story.
Using proxies to conceal his ownership of 2 luxury yachts, collectively worth $75 million.
The disinformation network founded by the late mercenary Prigozhin has another long-standing fixation, the royal family. Recently, mainstream media outlets and social media accounts even promoted a false report that King Charles had died, including a fake press release from Buckingham Palace.
Prigozhin Network has, for years, loved to talk about the royal family.
Why is the Prigozhin Network fascinated by the royal family?
I think that they see the royal family as a tool to get people's attention, a tool to insert their own ideas into ongoing conversations.
And once they're in these conversations, then they can continue to sow confusion, which is very valuable as we enter into this election in November.
So, Sasha, a closer look. You talked about topics like bed bugs and the British royal family just moments ago. What does Russia get out of sowing confusion about stories like that?
Anything that is going to generate a lot of conversation, anything that exploits tensions or fractures in society, all of that is very valuable. You get a lot of bang for your buck if you're Russian wanting to do this work. Sowing the confusion means that you don't know who to trust. It means that you can't hold anybody accountable, and that means that the American democracy is no better than Russian autocracy. So we see a through line of Russia blaming the United States, blaming the West, undermining Western support for Ukraine as Russia wages this war. We even learned today that Putin is continuing to blame Ukraine for the Moscow terrorist attack that ISIS claimed. All fits into this same theme.